If you're a beginner at the Megaminx, you most likely use commutators and an edge cycle algorithm to solve the last layer. This is great if you aren't too serious about the Megaminx, but if you want to improve your times, then learning for loop last layer can help. For loop last layer is an algorithm set that solves the last layer of the Megaminx in 4 steps: edge orientation, corner orientation, edge permutation, and corner permutation. There are 39 of these algorithms, but they can be broken down into different groups to make them far easier to learn.
So the first step of solving the last layer on Megaminx is edge orientation. Okay, so this first case is where there are 3 edges oriented, and the 2 unoriented edges are adjacent to each other like this, so they're next to each other instead of opposite. And here is the algorithm for it. I'll put it on screen up here. And now all the edges are oriented. Okay, this next case here, there are 3 edges oriented. The misoriented ones are opposite like this, and this is just F, sexy move, F prime. Okay, the final algorithm, where there's only 1 edge oriented, and you hold it like this, and yep, here is the case. And now all the edges are oriented. Okay, so now we're moving on to the corner orientation algorithms, and this first one here, the way I recognize it is I see this big block up here and headlights on the front. So the algorithm goes like this. Okay, so this is the next algorithm, and it's recognized in the same way with a big block, but with opposite stickers here instead of headlights at the front. And the algorithm goes like this. Now, I just want to say, you might notice a few of these algorithms are very similar or the same as 3x3, such as that last one there. So you might notice that in the video. Okay, this next algorithm is, the way I recognize it is that there's opposite unsolved corners here, and that they're facing away from each other, like this, and the algorithm is like this. This next algorithm is similar to that other one, but instead of, when you put it up here, instead of the headlights being on the, the stickers being on the side, they're facing up. So the way you do the algorithm is you hold it like this, and you do okay, so now I just call these the soon cases, because clearly they are all just soon cases. So this one here, it's a big block, but the way I don't recognize it with this block, I recognize it with these unsolved stickers here, and they will resemble a soon on a 3x3, like this, and it's solved the exact same way, so just like that. The same concept applies to the back soon, where you just hold it like this, same way as 3x3, and do the back soon algorithm. Okay, these next ones might not seem like soon cases, but really they are just anti-soons, where you recognize it in 2 corners unsolved here and just 1 kind of further away from it, and you hold the lone one over here in this bottom right slot here, and you see if the black sticker is here, then it is this algorithm, and if it's here, then it's the reverse of it. So this algorithm goes like this. Okay, so this next one is very similarly recognized to the last one, but instead of holding it here, if the black sticker is facing you, you put it at the back and you do back anti-soon. Just like that. Algorithm here is very similar to this algorithm on 3x3 with the yellow cross and opposite headlights. And you can actually use the same algorithm to solve it. So that looks like this. Now this algorithm might seem the same as the other one, where there's two headlights on each side, but it's actually very different. Because this big block over here, how the black kind of spreads out and it ends at this big block, if there are headlights going parallel against that block, I guess you could say, then it's the first case. But if it's this case here, where they're opposite and the big block is going through the middle, you hold them like this and you do F triple sexy F prime. Okay, so this, I guess I could call these you can call these the pi cases, because it is the pi case. It's all very similar to that on 3x3, where there's headlights and then opposite stickers. So there are 4 of these, and they can be kind of difficult to recognize, which is, I had some trouble with it, but I figured out a good way to do that. So basically, this first one, there are headlights at the front, and if the opposite stickers are by this big block, then it's this case. So that's how I recognize it, and this is the algorithm. Okay, this next case here is still looks like a pi case, but instead of the opposite headlights being by this block, they're not by the block. So you hold them like this and you do the algorithm. So this algorithm is just an anti-soon and then a back soon. So okay, this algorithm once again looks like a pi case, but this time the block is in between the headlights and the opposite corners. And this one, if you hold the big block at the front here, you can do it lefty, but you can just do it from the back if you're right-handed. So if the block's at the front and the opposite stickers are on the left, then you know it's this case, and then if they're on the right, then you know it's the other case. So they're on the left, so you have to do this algorithm. Okay, much like the previous algorithm, if you put the block at the front and the opposite stickers are on the right this time, you do this algorithm. Okay, these final 2 cases look the most intimidating, I'd say, as there are no corners oriented, but they are fairly easy to recognize once you know what you're looking for. So, yeah. Okay, so this first case is basically the way I recognize it is I look at the headlights and then I look here and here to see where the black sticker is. So it's basically just headlights and then the soon pattern. So you put the headlights at the back like this on the back left if it is a regular soon, but if it's going to be a back soon where the black sticker is there, you would put the headlights there. So that's the next album. So because on this one the headlights are on the left and the sticker is here, then you know it is this algorithm. Okay, now this is the other version of the algorithm, the flipped version, and if you put the headlights at the back here, you'll notice that the sticker here is not black and it's here, so you'll know to do the algorithm. Make sure to hold the headlights at the back right this time and do these moves. So yeah. Okay, now for the edge permutation algorithms. These ones I'd say are going to be a little bit harder to recognize, but you can learn the patterns and then they'll be a lot more simple. Okay, so for this first case here, the way that I recognize it is that there are two edges already solved. So let's say it's not permuted correctly, or the AUF isn't correct. You can just adjust it a bit and then check for solved pieces, and if there are two opposite each other like this, then you can move on to the next part of recognition for me, which is once I've identified that it's a cycle case where these edges have to move around in a direction because these are solved, then I look at this one here, and if it has to move down here, then I know that it is this algorithm, and if I have to move over here, then I know it's the other algorithm. So the algorithm goes like this, and then now all the edges are solved. Much like the previous algorithm, there are two edges already solved, but this time this edge is going over here, so you know it is the this algorithm. And now all the edges are solved. Another case you might get is where there are two edges solved and they are adjacent to each other, so next to each other like this. Then you basically, I guess, have a U-perm where there are three edges and they have to cycle around, much like the U-perm on 4x3. But you can't obviously do M moves, and so you have to do an RU one. And what I do is I hold the solved edges here, and then I look which way that they move around, and this one has to go here, so I know that it is this algorithm, and if it had to go there, then it would be the other algorithm. This one is fairly easy. This is just a J-perm, so you can do that, but I'll put it on screen anyway if you don't know J-perm. So this one, very similar to the last one, another U-perm, I guess, algorithm, but this time this edge has to move here instead of going all the way across here, so you just do this algorithm. Then AUF if you must, to solve all the edges. Now there's one more edge orientation algorithm where if there's only one edge solved, and if it's not AUF'd and you're like moving it around, then you'll know that it is this case because there will always be only one edge solved. If you keep on moving it around and there's still one edge solved, then you know it's going to be this case. So what you do is you put the solved edge on here on the left, and you do the moves. You go like this. Yeah, so that's all the edge permutation algorithms. Most of them are fairly simple, apart from that last one, but it's quite rare. I mostly get the U-perm ones, so they're quite simple. Finally, we have the corner permutation algorithms. These ones probably seem the most intimidating at first, just based off of the recognition and also the algorithms themselves. But I assure you if you practice them, then you'll be fine with them. Okay, so let's just start with the simple ones. So this one is, I guess you could say, an A-perm, where there are headlights and then just one lone one. So the way I recognize it is you have to hold it at the back, and whether the headlights are on the left or on the right. So this one's on the left, so you can do this algorithm. Okay, so this one's also very similar, but the headlights are on the right, so you can just do the mirror of that algorithm. Okay, these ones they look like A-perms, where there's three corners that you have to cycle, but they're slightly different. And the way that I recognize them is I put these two, I guess, paired up ones over here, and then this lone one over here. I check to see where it'll go, and if it'll go on the left or on the right slot. So this one here has cream and light blue, so it would go here. So I know that if it goes to the right slot, then you do this algorithm, and if it goes to the left one, then you do the other algorithm. So this goes to the right, so you do this alg. Okay, so this one has to go to the left. So once again, 3 cycles, 3 corner cycle, and the lone corner has to go to the left. So you do this algorithm. I call these the E-perms, I guess, because they're 4 corners that you have to solve. And on a 3x3, the only 4 corner PLL is the E-perm. So this one, I recognize, I just look at the headlights, and if the headlights need to swap, then I know that it's this one. So you hold it like this and do these moves. Okay, so the way that I look at this one is that I see if these colors if these pieces need to swap, and these ones need to swap. So if the opposite stickers here match up to the center edge piece, then it's this case. So these orange ones match up to the orange side, and these cream ones match up to the cream side. So you do these moves. Fun fact, this is my favorite edge PLL, corner PLL. Okay, and this final algorithm here, final E-perm algorithm, is this one is just the E-perm on 3x3, where if you look, instead of looking at these opposite stickers to see if it is the case, you look at these ones going across like this, if they match the color. So these are pink, they match here. You hold it with, I guess, these two at the front like this, and you do these moves. Okay, so time to move on to the five corner orientations. So basically, these ones, it took me quite a while to figure out a good way to recognize them, but I feel like I have a pretty good system at the moment. Yeah, so this first one is I recognize as every single side has headlights on it. So there are 2 of these algorithms, and the way to, I guess, distinguish between them is to look at the headlights in the front and check if they go to the left or to the right. So these are orange, so they go to the left. So what you do is this algorithm, it's really simple, it's just 2 of the U-perm algorithms from the before. So it's like this. Okay, so this next one is similar, but instead of the headlights going to the left, they go to the right. So this one is a combination of just soons and anti-soons and a couple of setup moves. So yeah. Okay, so once again we have all headlights, and this time checking to see if they go to the left or the right. They don't go to either, so that's when you check up here. So this goes to the top left. So this algorithm goes like this. Okay, so this one's also very similar, but this time the headlights go to the right, and you do this. Okay, so these algorithms I recognize with 2 sets of headlights and then this one lone piece. So I use this one lone piece to determine what case it is. So I check whether this lone piece either goes to the left or to the right to choose. Yeah, so this one goes to the right, so I know that it is, you hold like this, and it is this case. Okay, so this algorithm looks, this case looks very similar with 2 sets of headlights and 1 lone piece, but this time it's going to the left. So you hold it in the back, like that, and you do this set of moves. Okay, so these last 2 algorithms took me quite a while to figure out a good way to recognize them. And instead of just looking for headlights or blocks, I'm looking for, I guess, checkerboards. So I guess 3 patterns of pieces. So this goes light blue, cream, light blue, and over here it goes green, orange, or light green, orange, light green. So you look at where the checkerboard positions are, to determine what case it is. So I put one, so the way I do it is you have to put a checkerboard in this front face here and in this back right face, and the position of them will determine the case. So this checkerboard is on the right side, so it's here, it could be here, which would be on the left side, but it's here, so I know that it is this case. Okay, this one looks fairly similar to the last one, but if you put the checkerboard here, see it goes light green, pink, light green, and light blue, orange, light blue. If you put the checkerboard on this front face, it is on the left side, so you do this algorithm. So I think that concludes all of the algorithms. If you have any questions, just comment them. Hopefully I should be able to answer them. Yeah, pretty much. I just made this because I haven't found any very good videos for just going an overview on the for the class layer algorithms. So hopefully this can help.